fan favorite, Warrior 2. You're really doing a lot more harm in a lot of areas, like your arms, like your neck. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Justin Lin here at Rehab and Revive Physical Therapy, where we rehab your mind to revive your body. Today I want to talk about the top 3 yoga poses that have inflicted pain in my patients and what we can do to modify it. The first one is the seated spinal twist. The second one is the pigeon pose. And the third one, it is warrior number 2. So we're gonna talk about how to make things better, why it's hurting you, next. All right, so we're gonna get down to that very first pose, the spinal twist. I'm gonna talk you through it, but a lot of times when we're doing the spinal twist, we're just over-rotating and over-committing our lower backs and our spine, making it a little bit more unstable. Especially for those of you who have any disc problems or degenerative disc, you could have a chance of making it worse unless you set it up correctly. I'm not gonna attempt to do the pure way. A lot of people, it's very difficult to even get there efficiently and safely. I'm just gonna show you the way I've modified this particular exercise, the spinal twist. Getting right into the nitty gritty is a lot of times we can't perform this because our hips are too tight. So I'm one of those, but I'm gonna attempt my best. I'm not an expert, and in yoga, I have practiced it many times, many years, but and I can appreciate those who have a good flexibility, but you want to keep lengthening your spine is what I've been told. And what we want to do next is you're going to slide one leg up and you can pull it to your chest. Sometimes you're feeling a little compression here. What you do is you can create a little crease and pull that up, and that way you save your hips a little bit more. You can just stay right in this position, breathe in, and then when you exhale, you can. But really what I'm trying to do, a lot of times, there's a collapse of your trunk. A lot of people are kind of like doing this. They're like kissing their knees. So you want to be able to keep that, and this is a lot of times, I'm just working on squeezing my shoulder blades back, maintaining that really good. So we can do that. And then if you want to progress, some people do that Hollywood style here where they just cross it over. Once again, I actually like to keep this here, reset, and then pull that in a little closer. That way I create a little space in that hip, keep it healthy. You can do the breathing again, or what I want to do is just really keep lengthening through my trunk. Think of my crown going up. Good. Yep. And then the further progression here, some people will like to do that twist, but I actually don't like getting across because, once again, where are you really twisting from? Are you twisting from every 27 segments of your spine? Probably not. You're probably doing it on the first 3 or 4 lower lumbar spine to really get that across. You can see that a lot of times. So it's just keeping that form here, and I just go to here, and that's good. That opens up some things already for me, but that's basically it. It's just really work on lengthening your crown and really creating that gap here, pushing down, creating a little space here, just working yourself into it and getting into your practice a little bit better. All right, we're gonna get into the pigeon pose. And there's a lot of variations out there. I'm gonna teach you my way, so it just keeps your pelvis aligned, your spine aligned. And those of you who have knee issues, maybe this is a better modification as well, because it can also, if done poorly, create some laxity in your knee, which, something can happen if you have ACL dysfunction or too lengthened ACL, and that can make your knee unstable. So that's the one worry I get when people are doing pigeon pose. I'll show you what I know from what's out there. Like I said, not an expert, but we're gonna get right into it. So a lot of people get into that downward dog position, and work themselves slowly in and get themselves lengthened. Then they'll get right into here, and then, they just want you to lengthen back and get right into here. And then, some people will tell you to kind of shove this as far forward. But a lot of times, incorrectly, things are done where you're kind of here or you're leaning here, and you can see there's so much compression on my poor knee, doing it wrong either way. And then the back leg, we'll talk about that, but that's generally you want it straight. Your feet are also down and pressing the top of your feet into the floor. But I'm gonna change it up a little bit. And this is a lot like a different exercise I've taught, but what we wanna do is create more hip crease, hip opener. This is a hip opener exercise. So we might as well work on the hip and not really try to stretch the knees. So you're gonna get yourself into here, and then what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna get right down here, and then I'm gonna lengthen backwards. And so this is all aligned right now. I'm really trying to open up this pelvis, keep that parallel towards the opposite wall here. And then what I'm going to do is, I like this part where you can kind of hinge a little bit here and really try to open up from here, but I press my thumb through the hip joint, and then I try to lengthen. I'm almost trying to pull my knee forward. So you can do it this way. Set yourself up first, take some deep breaths, breathe into it, and then get that right there. And that way I'm just keeping everything aligned. My ankle, my toe, my knee, my hip, and then my goal is really just to work on lengthening my chest as well. So I can do this. You can kind of hold it like this. That's how I do it. Keep your back leg straight, of course. But that's kind of the goal here. And then you can modify slowly from there as your hips open up. But if you're finding yourself over your hip, twisting a lot from your spine, or really throwing your leg out there, just try to prove to yourself that you can really get that stretch, you're probably hurting yourself and doing more harm than good. All right, fan favorite where a lot of people get to reset is Warrior 2. Now, I have found personally in my own yoga journey that I have reached myself out and have gone too far and felt electric sharpness and tingling and numbness and pins and needles. Basically, that's nerve pain. That's not energy leaving my body. That's me overstretching my nerves. And that's gonna be the biggest thing to be cautious of. Your nerves, quickly, they run from your neck, they go underneath your collarbone, and they go through your arms into your fingertips. So when you're lengthening, you better have enough nerve length, and you feel like you're doing good by stretching, but you're really doing a lot more harm in a lot of areas, like your arms, like your neck, making the nerves tighter, making them angry. So from a Warrior 2 standpoint, like again, I've done this somewhat enough, but I know there's better out there. I want to keep myself more central. I want to keep that knife edge here. But the main thing is when you got to do this. And if that's as far as you go, you might feel a little, if you close your eyes and you go, oh, this is it. This is tension. That's it. If you go like this, you're taking, it's like this shirt, you're pulling this, and you're yanking it two directions. You've actually pulled your nerves too far, but what we want to do is if you're here, you could do it one arm and just kind of work yourself slowly into it repetitively. And then you can work yourself out. And that could take seconds or it could take minutes. And then if you got both arms, you can kind of do that first. Just kind of work yourself into it. But then you can kind of get yourself into it. And then, so you can do this here, set into it. But a lot of times, like I said, when you're doing this, you're feeling a stretch. And that's not a muscle stretch. That's a nerve brachial plexus stretch. And you're pulling it and it's running against underneath your collarbone. And that's not getting good. It's like taking a hose and bending it around the corner of a house and the hose circulation is getting cut off. So you gotta be cautious with this, especially once you turn your head as well. So you wanna make sure you have this nice and free here, and then you can sometimes I just look straight. I don't even bother turning my head at all because rotation increases compression in your cervical discs. So I just kind of do this and just work into it. And then once that's free, then, maybe the third or fourth repetition, I'm doing this fine, right? So, but keeping that hip there and then here, then I can get right into it. So yeah, there you go. happy yogaing, and hopefully these exercises were helpful, or these modifications were helpful in getting you better form in your poses. So wish you the best of luck. I want to preface again that I'm not a yogi expert or not certified. I just look at movements, and this is all about content. I know I probably butchered some of these poses, but I really wanted to get the point across. So just make sure that, I know I'm a little bit afraid of opening up this comment box below, but just let me have it. And, but the content is good, and that's what I'm promoting here. Check with your healthcare professional, check with your yogis, make sure this is sound advice, and yeah, we'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe below. As well, if you found all this information helpful, improved your cases that are having numbness or back stuff, leave these guys. I'm Dr. Lin. Remember, we heal smarter, not harder.